The mining station Beta 7 floated silently in the dark void between two dead stars. Captain James stood on the bridge of the small cargo vessel, watching his crew load the last containers of rare minerals. Everything seemed normal until the emergency lights bathed the bridge in red. "Captain, we're picking up a distress signal," said Tom, the communications officer. His face turned pale as he listened through his headset. It's not in any language I recognize, but the universal SOS pattern is clear." James moved to the console and studied the readings. The signal came from a nearby system, just 2 light years away. According to their scanners, that region should have been empty space. No colonies, no trade routes, nothing. "Play it," James ordered. The bridge filled with an haunting sound. It was clearly artificial, but unlike anything human ears were meant to hear. Mixed within the alien tones was the unmistakable rhythm of SOS, 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. The universal cry for help that every spacefaring species knew. "Sir, I'm detecting massive energy signatures near the source," reported Lisa, the science officer. "Whatever's happening there, it's big. Really big." James faced a choice. Mining vessels weren't equipped for rescue operations. They had minimal weapons, basic shields, and a crew of 20 miners, not soldiers. Protocol said to report the signal and continue their mission. But Protocol had never encountered a situation like this. "How many life signs?" James asked. Lisa's fingers danced across her console. "Thousands, maybe tens of thousands. They're clustered in one location. And..." She paused, double-checking her readings. "Captain, there are weapons firing. It's not just a distress call. It's a battle." The crew exchanged worried glances. Earth's colonies had been at peace for 50 years. Humanity had spread across 100 systems without encountering intelligent life. This changed everything. "Tom, send a priority message to Earth Command," James decided. "Include all our sensor data and the distress signal. Tell them we're investigating." "Sir, that's against regulations," Tom reminded him. "We're supposed to wait for military support." James looked at the sensor readings again. The life signs were decreasing. Whatever was happening, people were dying. Those regulations were written when we thought we were alone in the universe. We're not alone anymore, and someone needs our help. The cargo vessel turned toward the signal, its mining engines straining to reach maximum speed. As they approached, the sensors revealed more details. A massive space station, design unknown, was under attack by dozens of sleek, predatory ships. The station's shields flickered like a dying candle. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Tom announced. It's in broken English." A weak voice crackled through the speakers. "Please ... anyone. We are refugees. No weapons. Children aboard. They destroy all." James felt his jaw clench. Refugees, families, children, being slaughtered while he watched. "Sir, Earth Command is responding," Tom reported. "They're ordering us to maintain distance and observe only." But James wasn't listening anymore. He watched as another section of the alien station exploded, venting atmosphere and bodies into space. His grandfather had told him stories of Earth's old wars, of times when humans stood by while innocents died. Never again, they had promised. Never again. "Lisa, can you analyze their shield frequency?" James asked. "Already done, Captain. We could extend our mining shields to cover a small section of their station. Maybe buy them time." "Do it." James turned to his crew. "I know we're not soldiers. We're miners, engineers, ordinary people. But right now, where all these refugees have... we hold the line until help arrives." The small cargo vessel moved forward, its industrial shields spreading like protective wings over a section of the battered station. The attacking ships immediately turned their attention to the human vessel. The first weapon's impact shook the entire ship. "Shields at 60%, someone called out. James gripped his command chair and activated the general distress beacon. "This is Captain James of the human vessel Beta 7. We are under attack while responding to a refugee distress call, requesting immediate military assistance." He knew help was hours away at best. They just had to survive until then. As another barrage struck their shields, James wondered if his small act of defiance would be enough, or if humanity's first contact with alien life would end in tragedy. Asterisk, Admiral John Williams stood in the command center of Earth's Defense Headquarters, staring at the emergency transmission from Beta 7. Around him, dozens of officers worked frantically, analyzing the data streaming in from the mining vessel. "Confirmed alien contact, sir," reported Major Davis. "Two species. One appears to be civilian refugees. The other is highly militaristic. The attacking force has technology roughly equal to ours." John felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Humanity's first contact with alien life, and it was already violent. But what struck him most was Captain James's decision to help. A mining captain with no combat training had put his ship and crew at risk to protect strangers. "What's the status of Beta 7? John asked. "Still holding, sir, but barely. Their shields are down to 30%. They've managed to save about 300 refugees so far by providing shield coverage, but they won't last another hour." John turned to the massive tactical display showing Earth's fleet positions. Humanity had built a substantial defense force over the past century, not knowing what they might find among the stars. Now they knew. "How fast can we get ships there?" John demanded. "The Third Fleet is closest, sir. 40 ships, but they're 8 hours away at maximum burn," Davis replied. "Beta 7 will be destroyed long before they arrive." John's mind raced through possibilities. 8 hours was too long. Then an idea struck him. What about the Ghost Fleet? The room went silent. The Ghost Fleet was humanity's secret weapon. Automated warships controlled by advanced AI designed for rapid response. They were kept hidden in deep space, waiting for a threat to Earth itself. "Sir, the Ghost Fleet is our last line of defense," Davis protested. "If we reveal it now, ... Major, there are refugees being slaughtered and humans under attack," John interrupted. "This is exactly what we built them for. How many can reach Beta 7 in time?" Davis consulted his screen. 12 ghost ships are within 2-hour range, sir. But activating them will reveal our capabilities to unknown aliens. John didn't hesitate. "Activate them and prepare the main fleet for jump. I want everything we have moving toward that system." "Sir, that's our entire defense force," another officer pointed out. "We'll leave Earth vulnerable." "No," John replied firmly. "We'll show the galaxy what humanity stands for. We protect those who can't protect themselves. Send this message to all ships. Today, we prove that humans are not conquerors, but guardians." The authorization codes were entered, and deep in space, 12 dark shapes powered up for the first time. The Ghost Fleet's AI systems came online, immediately analyzing the situation and calculating optimal attack patterns. Meanwhile, on Beta 7, Captain James watched his shield indicator drop to 20%. The refugee station had managed to transfer another 100 survivors to their cargo bay, but it wasn't enough. Thousands remained trapped. "Captain, I'm picking up new contacts," Tom announced, confusion in his voice. 12 ships, coming in fast. "There? They're broadcasting human signatures, but I don't recognize the configuration." Before James could respond, space around them erupted in light. The Ghost Fleet arrived like avenging angels, their weapon systems far more advanced than anything the attackers had seen. Beams of focused energy sliced through enemy ships with surgical precision. "This is Ghost Fleet Command," a synthetic voice broadcast across all channels. "Hostile forces. You have attacked human citizens and civilian refugees under human protection. Cease fire immediately or be destroyed." The attacking ships, caught completely off guard, tried to regroup. They outnumbered the Ghost Fleet 3-1, but their weapons barely scratched the advanced human shields. In return, every shot from the Ghost Fleet found its mark. "More contacts incoming," Tom reported, his voice rising with excitement. "It's the Third Fleet. They're arriving early." Admiral Roberts of the Third Fleet had pushed his ships beyond safe limits, earning through fuel reserves meant for months in mere hours. 40 human warships dropped out of hyperspace, weapons already charging. "This is Admiral Roberts of the Human Space Force," she broadcast. "You are engaged in an act of genocide against civilian refugees. Surrender immediately or face the consequences." The alien attackers, faced with an ever-growing human force, began to retreat. But John, watching from Earth, wasn't satisfied with just driving them off. "Ghost Fleet, disable their engines," he ordered. "I want prisoners. We need to know why they're attacking refugees." As the battle turned into a rout, Captain James finally allowed himself to breathe. They had survived. More importantly, the refugees had survived. His simple decision to help had triggered something unprecedented. Humanity's full military might deployed not for conquest, but for protection. Asterisk. Commander Alex led the boarding team through the corridors of the disabled alien attack ship. The Ghost Fleet had done its work perfectly, disabling the vessel without destroying it. Now it was time for answers. "Life signs in the bridge section," reported his lieutenant, scanning with her device. "They're not moving. Probably waiting for us." The human soldiers moved carefully through the strange ship. The corridors were taller than human standard, built for beings at least 7 feet in height. Everything had a harsh, angular design that spoke of a military-focused culture. They reached the bridge doors, which stood partially open. Inside, 5 tall aliens in dark uniforms stood waiting. They had gray skin, forearms, and eyes that showed no emotion. One stepped forward, clearly the leader. "I am War Master Kron," it spoke through a translation device. "You have interfered in a legal military action. The Council will hear of this violation." Alex kept his weapon lowered but ready. "I'm Commander Alex of Earth. You were attacking civilians. Refugees with children. Explain yourself." Kron's expression didn't change. "They are not refugees. They are criminals fleeing justice. The species you protect destroyed their own world through forbidden experiments. They are planet killers." "That's a lie." A new voice interrupted them. Everyone turned to see Captain James entering the bridge, accompanied by one of the refugees. The refugee was smaller than humans, with blue-tinted skin and large, expressive eyes. It trembled but stood straight. "I am Speaker Dar," the refugee said. "We can finally speak your language, thanks to your translation help. Please, let me tell the truth." Kron made a dismissive gesture with 2 of his arms. "Do not listen to their lies. They will say anything to—" "Quiet," Alex commanded, his weapon raising slightly. "Let them speak." Dar stepped forward, tears forming in its large eyes. "Our world was dying, not from war or experiments, but from a plague. Our children were dying. We tried everything, every medicine, every treatment. Nothing worked." The alien paused, gathering strength to continue. "Then we discovered the cure. A simple plant that grew on a world claimed by Kron's empire. We asked for help, offered to trade everything we had. They refused. They said the plant was sacred to them, not for outsiders." "So you stole it," Kron accused. "You violated our space and stole our sacred resources. We took seeds to save our children." Dar's voice rose with emotion. "Just seeds. We grew the medicine and saved thousands of young ones. But you called it theft and declared war. You destroyed our world not because we were dangerous, but because we dared to save ourselves without your permission." Alex looked between the two aliens, his mind processing the information. "You committed genocide over a plant." Kron stood taller. "The law is the law. They violated our sovereignty. The Council supports our action." "What council?" Alex demanded. "The Galactic Council. 20 species who maintain order in this region of space. Your kind are new here. You don't understand our ways." Alex activated his communicator, connecting directly to Admiral John on Earth. "Sir, you need to hear this." After relaying the full story, John's response was immediate and firm. "Commander, inform the War Master that Earth does not recognize any council that approves genocide over property theft. These refugees are under our protection now." Kron's 4 hands clenched. "You cannot oppose the council. You are 1 species against 20. Actually, a new voice joined the conversation as Admiral Roberts entered the bridge. "We've been monitoring your communications. Your council isn't 20 united species. It's 5 powerful species controlling 15 others through fear. Half of them won out, but are afraid of you." She turned to Dar. "Your people sent a distress call, hoping anyone would answer. Well, humanity answers. How many of your people survived?" 8,000, Dar replied, hope entering its voice. "Mostly families with children. We have nothing left but our lives." Roberts nodded. "Earth offers you sanctuary. We have worlds with room for your people. You can rebuild, start over." "This is a mistake," Kron warned. "The Council will not allow this. You're signing your own death warrant." Alex stepped close to the War Master. "Maybe, but humanity has a saying. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We're not doing nothing." As they escorted Kron to the detention cells, messages began arriving at Earth from other species. Ships from the 15 controlled worlds, asking quietly if humanity truly stood against the Council. If there was really a species that would fight for strangers, the SOS that had summoned humanity's fleet was about to summon something more. A revolution against tyranny among the stars. Asterisk. President Maria stood before the United Earth. Assembly, the weight of the moment clear on her face. Behind her, holographic displays showed images from the past week, the rescue of the refugees, the confrontation with the Council forces, and most importantly, the secret messages from oppressed worlds. "Ladies and gentlemen," Maria began, "1 week ago, we were alone in the universe. Today, we stand at a crossroads. We can return to our isolation, or we can choose to stand for what's right." She gestured to the displays. 15 species live in fear of the Council. They've reached out to us in secret, sharing their stories. Worlds stripped of resources, populations enslaved, entire cultures erased for refusing to comply. Senator Brown stood up. "President, we're talking about taking on 5 militarily superior species. We have 100 ships. They have thousands." "That's true," Maria admitted. "But we also have something they don't expect, the courage to stand up to them. And we won't be standing alone." The displays changed, showing a familiar face. Speaker Dar appeared, but now he stood with representatives from 6 other species. "President Maria," Dar spoke through the transmission, "we've been in contact with others who suffer under the Council. If Earth leads, we will follow. 7 species are ready to stand with humanity." Another figure stepped forward, insect-like with gleaming wings. "I am Ambassador Tech of the Hive Worlds. The Council took our queens as hostages 50 years ago. We've waited for someone strong enough to challenge them. Humanity's protection of strangers proves you are different. A third alien, covered in scales that shifted color, added, "The Free Traders Union represents 1,200 merchant ships. We're tired of paying tribute for safe passage. Our ships are not warships, but we know every hidden route and secret base in Council space." Maria turned back to the assembly. "We're not talking about conquest. We're talking about liberation. About showing the galaxy that might doesn't make right." "What about our ghost fleet?" another senator asked. "That's our strategic advantage. If we reveal it fully, we keep it in reserve," Admiral John interrupted from his position. "The 12 ships we've shown are enough to make them cautious. They don't know how many more we have." President Maria nodded. "Here's my proposal. We form the Liberation Alliance. We offer protection to any species that wants freedom from the Council's tyranny. We share our technology, train their forces, and stand together." On the alien attack ship, still held in Earth custody, War Master Kron watched the proceedings with his guards. "Your species is young and foolish," he told Commander Alex. "The Council has ruled for 3,000 years. Every empire thinks it will last forever," Alex replied. "They're always wrong." Meanwhile, in the refugee sections of the human stations, something beautiful was happening. Human doctors worked alongside Dar's healers, sharing medical knowledge. Human children played with alien youngsters, inventing games that needed no common language. Engineers from both species collaborated on improving life support systems. Captain James, now promoted to ambassador for his first contact actions, visited the refugees daily. "How are your people adjusting?" he asked Dar. "They're amazed," Dar replied. "Your people share food without demanding payment. Your doctors heal without asking for servitude. Your children play with ours without fear. We've never seen anything like it." "That's just being human," James said simply. But across space, the Council was not idle. In their massive fortress station, the 5 ruling species held an emergency session. "The humans must be crushed immediately," demanded Kron's superior, High War Master Zar. "Before this infection of independence spreads." "Agreed," said the representative of the Dominion, a species that looked like living shadows. "But we must be careful. Their ghost fleet technology is unknown. We could lose many ships." "Then we don't attack directly," suggested the third member, a crystalline being that spoke through harmonics. "We isolate them, cut off all trade, all contact. Let them starve." But even as they planned, encrypted messages flew between oppressed worlds. The story of Beta 7 spread, how a single mining ship had stood against injustice, how Earth's entire fleet had responded to protect strangers. "The humans have given us something we haven't had in generations," Ambassador Tech told his hive. Hope. On Earth, factories that had built mining equipment retooled for ship production. Training academies opened their doors to allied species. The Ghost Fleet's AI systems were updated with new tactical data from their allies, knowledge of Council weaknesses. The liberation of the galaxy wouldn't happen overnight. But for the first time in 3,000 years, the Council's grip on power began to slip. And it all started because one human captain refused to ignore a distress call. Asterisk. 6 months had passed since the formation of the Liberation Alliance. The massive Council fleet, over 2,000 ships, hung in space facing the Allied forces. High War Master Zar had finally lost patience with the growing rebellion. Admiral John stood on the bridge of humanity's flagship, surrounded by his multi-species command staff. The Alliance had grown to 12 species, with a combined fleet of 800 ships. They were still outnumbered, but they had advantages the Council didn't expect. "All ships. Report status," John commanded. Hive squadron ready, clicked Ambassador Tech. Our bioships are in position. Free trader vessels standing by, reported Captain Merchant. Cargo bays are specially loaded as planned. Refugee fleet prepared, Dar added. His people had converted their remaining ships into medical vessels. We'll save who we can, from both sides. Captain James, now commanding a retrofitted battleship, checked in. Mining fleet ready, Admiral. Our industrial lasers are charged. The Council fleet sent a transmission. Tsar's image appeared on every screen. Surrender now, and some of you may live as servants. Resist, and we will erase your species from existence. John opened a channel to respond. High War Master, I'll make you the same offer. Surrender, dissolve the Council's oppressive system, and we'll show mercy. Mercy? Tsar laughed. You think your 800 ships can defeat our thousands? No, John smiled. I think freedom can. He gave the signal. Across the Council fleet, something unprecedented happened. 300 ships suddenly changed their identification signals, declaring for the Alliance. The oppressed species within the Council's own forces had been waiting for this moment. Impossible. Tsar roared as a third of his fleet turned their weapons on their former masters. But John wasn't done. Ghost Fleet, full reveal. All units, engage. Space lit up as not 12, but 100 Ghost Fleet ships materialized from stealth mode. Humanity had been building in secret, their automated shipyards working without rest. The AI-controlled vessels moved with perfect coordination, their advanced weapons carving through enemy formations. Mining fleet, execute Operation Asteroid. James commanded. The converted mining ships revealed their surprise. For months, they'd been moving asteroids into position. Now, those asteroids activated, revealing they'd been hollowed out and filled with weapons platforms. The Council fleet found itself surrounded by hidden gun positions. The free traders played their part. Their cargo ships had been Trojan horses, filled with boarding pods. As they approached Council ships under the guise of surrender, they launched thousands of Marines directly into enemy vessels. Hive squadrons. Release the swarm, Tech ordered. The bioships opened, releasing millions of tiny organisms that could eat through ship hulls. They'd been engineered to target only Council ship materials, leaving Alliance vessels untouched. The battle was chaos, but organized chaos. The Alliance had spent months planning, using the combined knowledge of all their species. The Council, used to overwhelming force, couldn't adapt to creative tactics. On Tsar's command ship, alarms blared from every direction. Shields failing. Hull breaches on 12 decks. Internal communications compromised. How? Tsar demanded. We have superior numbers. His tactical officer, a member of an oppressed species, turned to face him. Because you never understood strength, War Master. You had power, but we have purpose. The officer removed his Council insignia and drew his weapon. Across the Council fleet, similar mutinies erupted. The oppressed crews had been waiting for their moment. As the battle raged, Dar's medical ships moved through the chaos, rescuing survivors from both sides. Even in war, the Alliance showed mercy. This act convinced more Council forces to defect, seeing that surrender didn't mean death. Admiral, the Council flagship is trying to retreat, someone reported. Ghost Fleet, disable their engines. I want Tsar alive, John ordered. The automated ships moved with inhuman precision, surgical strikes crippling the massive vessel without destroying it. Within hours, the seemingly invincible Council fleet was broken. Ships surrendered in waves, their crews celebrating liberation rather than mourning defeat. War Master Kron, watching from his cell, saw his empire crumble in a single battle. How did you know? He asked Alex. How did you know they would betray us? We didn't betray you, Alex corrected. We freed themselves. You ruled through fear. We offered hope. Hope always wins eventually. 3 days later, on the ruins of the Council's fortress station, representatives from 43 species gathered. The old order was dead. In its place, they signed the Galactic Freedom Charter. With humanity's principle at its core, all beings have the right to life, liberty, and dignity. Speaker Dar stood beside President Maria as she signed. Your species answered our SOS and saved not just my people, but the galaxy itself. Maria smiled. We just did what was right. That's what humans do. The galaxy was free, and among the stars, the story would be told for generations, how one distress call summoned humanity's deadliest fleet, and that fleet brought not conquest, but liberation. Asterisk.